Hey, Ruby fans and theorists, it's JBlade2000 here again, with kind of a different video. Why do people hate John? And I think a lot of undue hate goes John's way. Now, if you do hate John, I'm not going to come at you with torches and pitchforks. I mean, it's your opinion, and we all have opinions. I'm not going to be one of those people that will just bash you for your opinion. You like what you like, and I like what I like. I just ask you to please do the same, because this is my opinion. So, I will respect yours, so please try to respect mine. So, this is just going to be kind of debunking and going over my opinion on some of the arguments that people who hate John state for hating John. First and foremost is that he does not do anything. Now, this argument doesn't really hold water because he actually does do things. Think back to Beacon's initiation, where Team Juniper was fighting the Deathstalker. He actually took stock of the situation, came up with a strategy, and actually realized the dangler on the Deathstalker, the Stinger, was loose, and so he directed Pyrrha to throw her shield at it, and then directed Nora to use Pyrrha's shield as like a launching pad to smash the thing. And next we go to Foreverfall, when the giant Ursa appeared, and Team Cardinal left their leader to be mauled by the vicious beast. Good job, guys. A+ teamwork. Good job. Anyway, so John rushes in to confront the Ursa. Not Yang, not Ruby, not Pyrrha, not anyone we have seen in the series so far to take initiation and actually do anything. It was John. And yes, he did have a little bit of help from Pyrrha, but help is the key word here, because she did magnetize his shield to deflect the block, but John had to go up against an Ursa, actually getting punched in the face a few times, and actually decapitate the thing. That was all him. Pyrrha only lifted his shield a little, and that's all. And now we come to the Volume 2 finale, where an Ursa shows up again, and John just slices it to pieces, without any help. He is becoming better at using his sword, and we must remember, this is the Ruby universe. It's not like Sword Art Online, where you can pop in a disc and learn sword fighting techniques. You have to actually train and be in peak physical condition and all that kind of stuff to use a weapon to actually fight these monsters. And we must remember that Ruby and Blake and Pyrrha, all from a young age, had their weapons and had been training to fight. Well, John hasn't. John is only just now learning how to be a swordsman, and is just now being acquainted with his weapon. And so the other girls and other people there have this edge over John because they have been training their entire lives with these weapons and how to fight, and John hasn't. But he is getting better. Next, is the fact that John doesn't notice Pyrrha likes him. And I've stated before that the writers, to create tension and drama, intentionally give us, the audience, things that the characters don't see. Like the fact that Cinder has snuck into Beacon. The protagonists don't know that. They probably don't even know of her existence yet. But we, as the audience, do, so it provides tension, and it provides enjoyment and suspense. And so that's kind of what's happening with Juane and Pyrrha. The writers give us a look into Pyrrha, while Juane doesn't quite see that. It's just more apparent to us, the audience, than it is to Juane. And another thing is, when you have the self-confidence of a baked potato, you're not going to notice when girls like you, because you think that they're not going to like you. Think about Pyrrha. She is talented, she's beautiful, she's smart, yada-da, all that stuff. And who is Juane? Juane is a dork. Juane can't fight with a weapon. Juane is just learning about aura, doesn't even know what his semblance is. He is a rookie, and Pyrrha is a pro, and so those two don't really mesh. And, you know, we have all sorts of movies about opposite romances coming together, but we don't always think that it works that way, especially to someone that doesn't have a lot of self-confidence. And so Juane just thinks Pyrrha is out of his league. Even though he does treat her like a real person, it would seem logical that she wouldn't want to be with him. So, next off is, why did he refuse Pyrrha's help when she was offering to train him? Well, I find this kind of hypocritical, because we say, or some of the people say that John's an idiot for refusing Pyrrha's help. And yeah, it was wrong to refuse Pyrrha's help. But we say, why did he refuse Pyrrha's help? But yet in the movies, in action movies, when the main character goes up against the main villain one-on-one, we go, yeah, and we cheer him on. That's kind of the same thing. Juane even stated in the show that he had all that stupid, crazy macho stuff going on in his head. And as guys, we do that. We think we can handle stuff on our own, because it's kind of built within us to want to be a hero, to want to solve our own problems. You know, that sort of thing. We need to know we can take care of ourselves and take care of whatever problems comes our way. And so that's really what Juane has done, and we've all done this at one point in our lives. I remember when I was very young and my mother was helping with math homework. If I had a problem that I couldn't solve, I would just kind of angrily try and do the problem again and again and again, and just finally ask for help. And that's what happened with Juane. And honestly, I think he did a very good job of apologizing and realizing why he was wrong. He actually realized, oh hey, I was wrong, I better apologize. And so he actually admitted he was wrong, instead of, just laughing it off. So, next is, Juane was kind of rude to Pyrrha and Weiss in the locker room before the initiation. And yes, he was rude. But here's the thing. I believe he was rude because Juane doesn't have self-confidence. There is a line, and it goes by pretty fast, and you might have missed it, where Juane says that his father told him that all girls look for is confidence. And so, when you don't have a lot of self-confidence, you would want to try to act confident. Now, Juane, as someone who has never been confident in his life, would not know what confidence really looks like. Remember, his father, grandfather, and grandfather's father were all heroes. And since he was young, he might have been in the presence of some of these heroes. And so, when he's thinking, what is confident, he thinks about those boastful, proud heroes that, just swagger in and are all kind of rude because that's what he thinks confidence is. And so he does that to Weiss and Pyrrha, not realizing that he's being rude. He's just trying to come off as confident. He just doesn't really know how to do that well, and so he comes off as rude. And so that's kind of what I think happened there. And, you know, he never really does it again to anyone else in the series. He just goes back to his normal self after that. And you know, Ruby and Yang helped him out of the locker room and all that kind of stuff. They weren't appalled by his behavior at all. Okay, so the final thing I want to address is John snuck into Beacon. Now, yes, it was wrong for John to lie. Yes, it was wrong for him to get fake transcripts and get into Beacon. Now, we have to understand why he did this. John comes from a family of heroes, and he wants to be a hero, but he doesn't know how. And if you're surrounded by family and friends that are great heroes and are telling you you can become a great hero, but you're gangly, scrawny, fumbling, and that's gotta weigh you down. And it's like the Nostalgia Critic said in his Secret of Nim 2 review. You know, you build up this kid that's so powerful. You know, you're the next hero of Remnant. You're gonna go out and slay Grimm. But, you know, what it's really doing is just kind of scarring them for life, because they know they can never live up to that expectations. And so John feels that way, or it could be the opposite. Everyone is telling him he's a failure. Everyone is just constantly berating him for every little thing he does. And, you know, I have a grandmother like that, and it's very annoying. It's very grating. It is very disheartening to hear. And so, either of those two situations, John wants to be a hero. John doesn't want to be the mess-up anymore. And so, he knows that Beacon is the premier school for training heroes. And so, he thinks, I can never get in by myself, so I'm going to go fake this. Now, the thing with John faking it, let's think. John is the leader of Team Juniper. Why? In the training, Pyrrha would probably have the one with the most points or the most skill or whatever becoming the leader is based off of. I assumed becoming the leader has to do with getting the most points in the initiation. But John was the leader, and I have kind of a theory on this. The Ozpin knows, and Beacon staff knows that Jean faked his way into Beacon, but they see potential in him, and they just want to kind of let the chips fall where they may, so they just let him in there. John got punished for sneaking into Beacon as well, becoming a leader, because you thrust someone who has no battle experience, no tactical experience, no anything, into being a leader right off the bat, into developing a team, into leading 3 other people in combat. That's a lot of pressure. And so John is kind of being punished for sneaking into Beacon by becoming the leader of Team Juniper and seeing if he flounders or succeeds. And the thing is, John has succeeded. He hasn't just sat on his butt eating potato chips saying, I'm going to be the next hero. No, he's actually working. He's actually training. He is actually doing things to make him that hero he wants to be. And so, that's why I like John. I feel like I can relate to him a lot with self-confidence, wanting to be a hero, wanting a significant other, and lots of other things.